Hey guys, it's Matt here, and today I'm doing another Toku Station review, and I am pumped to do this one. So, I am talking about Zyuranger Episodes 16 through 20. Now, if you don't know which ones those are, I'm going to read out the episode names to you right now, and maybe they'll start to come back to you if you've seen the show before. Also, spoilers if you haven't, so know that this is not going to be spoiler-free. So, the Great Sneeze plot. Okay, maybe I'm not that hyped for that one. The Sixth Hero, the Hate-Filled Brother's Sword, Female Warrior Scorpion, and Daizyu Jin's... that's funny, I used one Z for the... Daizyu Jin's Last Day. So, yeah, these episodes, minus 16 actually, that's my least favorite out of all of these. I don't dislike the monster design, but it's my least favorite. But either way, other than 16... these episodes are why I really should have been watching Zyuranger in the first place, but I've been trying to watch it for years now. And I've said this before, so sorry if I sound like I'm rambling, guys. It's just been a while since I visited Zyuranger and talked about the first 15. So I've tried to watch it before, and I've gotten up to episode 15, or 10 to 12, 10 to 15, somewhere in that range, and then I stop. And it's something against Zyuranger. Just for some reason, other stuff happens, gets in the way. Funny that it almost happened this time as well with these reviews. So I sat there, I'm like, look, I got this DVD set a while back. I really should check it out. And so I watched those 5 episodes for this review, and I could not have been happier. Now, I understand that some of you might be thinking that it's a lot of Green Ranger nostalgia. Look, I did grow up with Power Rangers, to be fair, with Mighty Morphin. So I was around the exact age range, like it got me. It got me good, I'll admit. But it's not so much, oh, it's Tommy, oh, it's the Green Ranger. It's how different he is from Tommy and from Rita, and not him being different from Rita, but just the entire arc being so different, and it's amazing to be able to see that. So I don't dislike Power Rangers that are kind of close to their counterparts, Japanese counterparts, as long as they do the stories well. Sometimes I think they don't, Samurai, but sometimes I think they do, Time Force. But having this be so different and so unique when compared to the Mighty Morphin version, yeah, I really do enjoy seeing that with Super Sentai and with Power Rangers. Now, I'm not going to, get into the Power Rangers version too much because, again, we're talking about Sentai here. We're not talking about Power Rangers. So, yeah, I really enjoyed being able to see how Budai is just filled with this hate and this seething hatred, and then instead of it being some lame excuse, even one that I'll defend, like, oh, well, my brother was crying next to me when I was an infant, and it was so sad. No, it's, I watched my father die. Yes, his father did start the coup, but he had to watch his father die, and his brother is the heir to the throne just because he managed to get adopted. It could have been him. He could have been adopted, but no, it was his brother who was adopted as an infant, and now all of a sudden that's all it took to change the course of his life. And it's something that it's powerful, and it's something that I did not expect from Zyuranger. There's nothing, I'm not trying to knock Zyuranger, just from what I've seen so far. Bandora is definitely evil, and some would say comically so, but I do think that it still is... it's still evil enough. Yes, the dancing is fun and stuff like that, but I mean, just her just generally like, oh, hey, how's it going, Satan? Could you help me with this stuff? That'd be real nice. I just want to kill these kids and take over the world. So I feel as if, there's still some stuff there that's a bit, at least coming at this from a Western fan's perspective, and again, thinking of it from what can be shown on American television. I'm like, ooh, just calling out Satan's name there. Just like, hey, how's it going, Satan? But to have this backstory for Budai, when really the main characters, I don't dislike them, but they don't really have any kind of big... even a lackadaisical backstory to really look at. It's like, yeah, you guys were training, and then we had to put you into some kind of cryostasis sleep because Bandora would one day come back. That's it. As of right now, we've learned nothing about them. Like, this was not only a huge reveal for Budai, bringing him in, but also a big reveal for Geki as well. And that's why, honestly, I think episode 18 is my favorite. Because I know some might say, no, but 17 is when they introduced Budai and he took down the whole team. Isn't that great? And, like, yes, even if I didn't have Power Rangers to compare it to in my mind, and sorry guys, I won't try to bring it up as much throughout the rest of these reviews for Zyuranger, but still, even with it not in my mind, it's just something that I think we've seen. I should probably be looking at this from the perspective of, which is a very important perspective, this being the first official sixth for the whole series. I know that in the movie for Mask Man, I remember that there was, I think it was X1 Mask, he was green. I know that he's existed, and, you could argue Big One is a sixth, and I get you there, but to have someone who kind of comes out of nowhere like this and be this antagonistic to the team for a decent chunk of the show so far, at least these 4 episodes that I've seen, because he wasn't in 16, so 17 to 20, but, and I get that, but I think because we've seen it since, it's not so much that got me, it's his connection to Geki and what that connection entails and why he feels this way. Because he could just feel like, oh, I want to rule the world and who cares? But no, it's, it's based in this understandable, deep-seated hatred. And also looking at, and this is a very pro wrestling thing, the uneasy alliance with Budai and with Bandora. And I can't wait to see that come to a head and see the both of them kind of go at it in a way where Budai might not even want to team with the Zyurangers immediately, but he just does not want to deal with Bandora's bullcrap. So it's going to be very interesting to see where that goes. And I think the most horrifying thing about these 5 episodes, and look, there was a lot of stuff that was kind of horrifying. The most horrifying thing was learning that Bandora actually took away Grifforzer's ability to speak. I thought it was just a difference with the footage. Oh, you give, you take Goldar, maybe you film some scenes with the suit. Maybe not season 1, but in general, you film some scenes with the suit, just moving its mouth, right? Or what you do is you take the scenes where he's growling and stuff like that, when he just barely moves his mouth, and you just dub over that, which I'm pretty sure season 1 did a few different times of Power Rangers. But no, he could speak, but she took it away. He's not this big kind of brute, this big hulking Hulk, really. And I know sometimes the Hulk can speak, but sometimes the Hulk cannot speak. So it's not like that at all. He can speak, he can think, he is a sentient being, but with her magic, she took away his ability to speak. And we don't know why yet, but it was just a horrifying realization to me. Some would say it's a horrifying realization that he's married, but I don't know. I disagree with that. I mean, look at that guy. Come on, look at that face. Look at that. He can get it. He can get it. This went in a very strange direction. Point being that him being married to Lume, I don't have a problem with that. What got me was her basically just stating it like she mentioned that she stayed at home with the family. It really has a cult vibe to it, honestly. Very Manson-esque, where it's just, yeah, like, we took away his ability to speak, and he's just fine with it. In fact, he wants to try to prove himself to you. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, this has kind of been the most hard-hitting part of Zyuranger so far. Like, I know the stuff with Geki and with Budai just happened, and that should be very important. And it does matter, don't get me wrong, but she took away his ability to speak, and he's just fine with it. That is some scary stuff, personally. Like, that kind of cult-like mentality. And although... Oh, God, it's not, it's funny only because of everyone shitting on him for it. When apparently the first words that Grifforzer says are, "Hey, why are you getting in the battlefield?" That was trying to be Goldar, but it kind of turned into Macho Man. Still, though, really, that's his first comment. Not "I love you," not "it's been so long," not "Hey, Bookback and the other one are... down on Earth right now. Seems like we have the place to ourselves." I don't know. No, just women should not be on the battlefield. And then literally, Bookback and I forget his name, or just Bamboozled, That's not his name. Are like, yeah, you go, and you literally have Pandora like, I'm a woman, you idiots. What are you cheering about? I can literally take away your. I thought she was gonna take away his right to speak again. I was like, is it gonna happen again? Yeah. So it. To me, that just stuck out the most, honestly, compared to everything else. Now, I've been overlooking episode 16. I know I shouldn't. I didn't have a problem with the episode. It just felt like pure filler in anticipation of Budai and his reveal and the reveal of the sixth Sentai member, or the sixth person in their tribe to have these powers. Also, I can tell you why I didn't like episode 17. I immediately skipped 16 again. I can tell you why I didn't like episode 17. I definitely will tell you why. The most, at least. This was an episode where, and this is drama that I really dislike in Toku. Really in drama shows overall, but definitely in Toku. What was stopping the gnome, whose name I clearly remember, and Barza from just telling the boy? Just telling him, hey, grandson, I know that we've been kind of lying to you all this time, but we have to tell you the truth. Sadly, Budai is not what you think. Like the same way that you tell kids. Like, I remember when I might have been 8, 9 at the time. It was around Christmas. My parents sat me down and they said, Matt, we've been lying to you. Santa's real. And I was like, no. And they were like, yeah. And it really changed my life. Every Christmas when I get these gifts from Santa, it really means a lot more because I know that he's real. And but anyway, back to the stuff with Zyuranger. Yeah, it's just, it's just something that could have just been explained away just by one sentence, just by a conversation. The fact that we got to the point where a gnome was going to kill his grandson. By the way, them being in army outfits, I know it's batshit crazy, but I loved it. I lived for that, especially because we haven't seen much of Barza. It kind of feels like he's kind of taken a kind of step back in his role as this grand mage, this wizard, and you kind of step back and you're like, look, I know that he can't fight Pandora head on, and he might not have all that magic at his disposal anymore, but why are we not going to have him at least give them some type of wizardly, sagely advice? It just felt so odd that he's kind of been in the background for the show as of late. And now he came back with a machine gun. All right, sure. I mean, look, I think that the problem was, again, that they were trying to kill the boy when it's like, just tell him. If you tell him what the problem is, he'd be like, well, I don't want to wake him up anymore. And then the whole thing would have been solved. And it's just so frustrating that we have to blame this kid when the problem is just straight up no communication. It literally makes no sense to me. Again, look, sometimes characters have problems opening up in certain TV shows and certain Toku, and I get it. Their heart is cold as ice. It doesn't beat the same way that others beat. But come on, these are two wizards who. Well, one's a gnome, but sorry for splitting hairs here in the forest. But one's a gnome, one's a wizard. Come on, they could have freaking said something. The fact that they didn't was so silly. And also the idea that it's part of some prophecy, but for some reason they're still trying to stop it anyway, and for some reason Pandora is like, well, this has been prophesized, so therefore it's all going to go as planned, and then it does? I don't know. It doesn't... It's weird. Like, it's a lot of stuff that they're kind of juggling. Like, this is a prophecy that we can't stop. We're going to try to stop it. I get it. I know they want to stop it. I get that. But it's so much to juggle. It's kind of like, is it going to happen or is it not going to happen? And then, of course, it clearly happened. I'm not the biggest fan of... Okay, so I do enjoy Lumi's, her giant monster design. That's pretty cool. I love seeing Grifforzer just generally running around. I don't know if I like the crotch shot. I think I've mentioned it before, but it's a bit much. Like, I think that's, like, we should be saving that for her. I don't know if I need to be seeing that necessarily. But I mean, I said it earlier again, the man can get it. I'm just saying, look at that. I'm just saying. But what I found odd, and I found this odd as a kid too, it was never not funny to me. Having a giant Budai or a giant green Sentai member, it just doesn't, Green Dragon Ranger, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. It just doesn't. Like, what? I understand it's magic, right? And also, again, you're watching Super Sentai, you're watching Tokusatsu, Matt, come on. And I know, but it's just seeing him that large. I do like what they did with his voice because it makes sense. He's larger. But it's just one of those things where it's just. And then also, what I really enjoyed was the suit actor because he's larger. His movements are slower. I was like, you know what? That's actually pretty cool. I appreciated that. But it was just so funny. I don't know. It was just really, really funny to see him just standing there as if that was supposed to be normal. Like, what? Bandora can do that to anyone. I'm like, can we get a giant book back? Could we just get a giant version of Poleprecon? Just making a giant monster, which then will be an even gianter monster. I just nailed it. That's how you defeat the Zyurangers. He's giant. So then whatever he makes is already giant. And then Bandora makes that even more giant. Because it was created as a giant. So it's not her magic. It was just created there. I'm a genius. See? I could easily defeat them. And I don't want to defeat them. Why am I doing this? Either way, Dai Zyujin, and I really don't know why I'm pronouncing it. I'm sorry for everyone that I'm pissing off by pronouncing it that way. Dai Zyujin is no more, apparently. That was a very emotional scene. I mean, it's just seeing the death of God. I mean, look, in canon, Super Sentai just said it. God is dead. Sorry. I mean, I don't know. I wonder if Daizujin... That's the interesting thing. So Daizujin is clearly God because I'm pretty sure they used the term kami, but I wonder if deity would have also worked, as if there are other gods in that universe. Because is God only a dinosaur? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm down with that. I'm super down with that. But creating creatures in God's own image, is that not us in Zyuranger? Is that Jurassic World or Jurassic Park? I don't know. What I can tell you is it was definitely a dramatic scene, and I'm wondering what comes next. I'm sure some people can be like, Matt, don't you remember you saw Power Rangers? But I haven't seen Power Rangers in full since I was a kid, so I don't remember what comes next. I can tell you this much: they're not getting the Zords, they're not getting the mecha from Die Ranger. But no, I am curious as to see where this is going to go from here, because yeah, clearly there's still some kind of rivalry between Budai and between Geki, but is that satiated to a certain extent? Is some of that bloodlust satiated? I mean, I'm assuming no. We haven't even seen his mecha yet, so obviously that is to come. But yeah, I'm wondering when is it are the talks going to break down between Budai and between Bandora, and how the Zyurangers are really going to come back from this, because I don't remember them getting any kind of upgraded equipment. So they're just going to be like, God wasn't dead, he was just asleep. I really don't know where that's going to go. I think it was a fun arc, though, and I know it's technically still going, but it's been a fun arc so far. I think that it's interesting seeing, you know, it's really weird seeing Bandora actually be effective, because a lot of Sentai and a lot of general Toku shows that follow these henshin heroes, surrounding it are these incompetent villains. They might have all the magic in the world, all the smarts in the world, whatever it is that they have at their disposal, but they suck. They just, whatever they send out immediately gets defeated. So it was so strange seeing her be effective when the plot needed her to be. But really, it was mostly her banking on Budai, who Budai clearly knows what he's doing. I mean, he's definitely an amazing soldier. So you could argue that's more on him than it is on her. But it is just kind of funny that everything is kind of going her way in this way. But yeah, I'm wondering, I mean, the Dragon Egg still exists, so I assume maybe they're going to tie in somehow, you know, in some way. But yeah, so either way, as we're wrapping this one up, I want to know what you guys thought about these episodes. Personally, I mentioned that I think 18 is my favorite, 16 is my least favorite, and I really enjoy seeing these characters struggle. That sounds terrible, but I enjoy seeing them struggle because it does usually seem like, well, they don't have all the new high-tech fancy stuff that a lot of newer Sentai have for every single problem that they have. They still usually are relatively unscathed. And so it was nice to see them be in some type of danger at some point. in this show. But either way, thank you all so much for watching. Again, please tell me what you think about these episodes down below. What do you think about Budai? And who do you think would win in a fight? Budai or the Green Ranger, i.e. Tommy? I think that Budai could take out young Tommy. But I don't know about seasoned veteran, I have 8 powers under my belt Tommy. I don't know. Talk about that down below. Alright guys, so see you next time. Alright guys, so love you and so love you guys and see you next time. Alright guys, respectfully, do it respectfully. Alright guys, so respectfully, do it respectfully. Alright guys, so love you all, take care, and tune in next time. So, see ya!